Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Awaken the World Suddenly Live Quick Talk. Knowing the right thing to do. When? Right now, of course. Ha ha ha. Again, a little bit of my own humor, like doing it right now, all the time. So we are going to give a minute to let a few people get on board. And sweetie, maybe you could send a message and just let them know to refresh the group page. And that would be great. And we do have someone who's waiting to watch and see this. And, we're going to talk about this quick talk soon, shortly. So it is a rainy day here in beautiful, mostly sunny Armstrong, British Columbia. We are surrounded by the foothills, and we have 3 beautiful lakes relatively close by. 4, actually. 5, come to think of it. 6. Okay, I got to correct myself one more time. 6 beautiful lakes within a 25-minute drive. It's actually a really beautiful place. Summers can get unbelievably hot, however, and this year is going to be a scorcher like no other. This is Garen's. I'm not predicting anything. I'm going to tell you the way it's going to be this year, okay? And I hate to say this, but if you think last year's fire season was something, wait until this year. And this is not just for British Columbia. This is for Alberta. This is for everywhere heading south of us, all down the side of the United States. We're in for it. This is the beginning. Get used to it. But it's all okay. It really is. And it will be okay. So, yeah, honey, nice comment. But they would have to be watching the video to see the comment, which they wouldn't need to know. But good try. My sweetie has the best of hearts. She really does. So, without further ado, after that little piece of humor, and I was looking for a little bit of humor, so thanks for providing, the sacrificial self for humor. A little bit more of Kelly's ego was just taken away from her. It's actually a really good thing. So, knowing the right thing to do. Well, if there's a number of you out there who are pretty quick on this, and I see Cindy is here. Hello, Cindy. Nice to see you. Boy, you just missed out on a little bit of humor. You're going to have to rewind it and watch the first few minutes. And Carol is here. You see, I said to everyone, if we just wait a minute or two, a few people are going to get on board. So, and here you are, Carol. OMG. I mean, I'm so happy you're here. Problem is, you missed a really good little piece of humor. So when we're done this, we haven't done the talk yet. But when we're done, rewind it and watch the first couple of minutes you've missed. It's pretty funny. So, for those of you who are, yeah, Kelly's still crying with something, all right. Definitely laughter. But so we're going to talk about something, and this is a really tricky one, okay? Knowing the right thing to do. Now, if you're halfways aware and astute, and apologies to everybody who's offended by that for not getting it, the first thing you're going to say is, wait a minute, Garen. What the hell? What do you mean knowing the right thing to do? Aha! I've been caught by myself. This is a little bit of a trick thing. And the reason it's a trick thing is as follows. There is no such thing as the right thing to do. There isn't. You gotta drop that. Right and wrong are judgments that humanity make upon everything. And it's all depending on a plethora of environmental factors. It has really nothing to do with inside of yourself, because inside of yourself, there is a deep acceptance and love of everything, including the murderer, including the pedophile, including the rapist, including the torturer, including the liar and the drunk and the cheat, the bully. Drop the idea that you need to worry about doing the right thing. Because right is a subjective judgment of mind, and it always changes and it gets very confusing. There is a far easier way to deal with things. This is it. Dum 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 dum. 1. Whatever you find yourself in the midst of, and you wake up enough to realize that you're spent or done, or your energy's being drained, or you're quite finished with it, or you just don't want it anymore because of what it's doing to you. All you need to do is this. You have to first examine what the initial underlying things that were going on when you got yourself involved within it to start with. And I'm going to use an example here of guinea pigs. So when I was young, I wanted a guinea pig. And this is a true story, okay? And I wanted a guinea pig so bad that I didn't really listen to my mother when she said, I don't think that's a good idea. And we were poor. I argued, whined, complained. I would pay with it with my own money. I would get the cage with my own money. I wanted a guinea pig. So, first off, before we go any further, I didn't really want a guinea pig. What I wanted is companionship. I felt I didn't get very much from my mother. She was deathly ill most of the time, laid up in bed. And if I wasn't helping her get to the bathroom and back, or to the shower and back, or around the house, but there wasn't companionship. I didn't have a friend. I was pretty isolated that way. We moved around a whole bunch all the time. So I never really made a lot of friends that stuck, around for any length of time. So, my answer was a guinea pig to fill something that I thought I needed within me. Now, of course, you're at a young age, you don't know any better. Well, pretty soon one guinea pig wasn't really enough, and I wanted to have 2 guinea pigs. So I didn't tell my mom, but I went and got a second guinea pig. And of course, the punk kid working at the pet store had about as much idea as I did as female and male guinea pigs, or as how to tell. And those 2 guinea pigs became 12 guinea pigs almost overnight, it seemed. And my life and my money and the cages and the trouble, including some of those guinea pigs being eaten by the mother, and the horrors I endured, it was getting out of control, and I didn't know what to do. You see, my heart had been in the right place. I mean, I never intended not to care for those guinea pigs. But the underlying reason, the real reason, because remember, we do everything for ourselves. We may think we're doing it for another, but we're doing it for us. And we always have to be aware of that, and that's okay. Because when we see ourselves in the other, we understand that yes, we are doing for another through ourselves, and vice versa. But with those guinea pigs, it had become too much. Now, my reasoning for it being too much were fairly selfish, being given my age. It was infringing upon my time. My room always smelled like guinea pig pee, because I couldn't keep those chips clean enough no matter how much I did, with, I think, 9 guinea pigs running around altogether in the various cages. And I was much too young and much too interested in other things. And my guinea pig started to die off. And you know what? In the end, all of my guinea pigs died on me. I killed them, one way or the other. So what is the guinea in the pig? I mean, where's the gold in this lesson? And the lesson is this. No matter what we've done, no matter where we find ourselves when we become consciously aware that something has to change, it is not a blame issue about what you have done as being right or wrong. And it is certainly not for you to think about whether what you need to do in terms of right or wrong. Ask instead objectively what needs to be done to satisfy all parties involved to the best of your ability. Now, in my case, that would have meant putting a good attempt in trying to rehome my guinea pigs. I didn't do that. You know, and other people, and there's many of us who, I mean, I look at myself right now, okay? Suddenly, out of the blue, my health is not what it was before. My back has become an issue until surgery. Are there things in my life that I've committed to, that I've done that I thought were right, or that I feel it would be not right to back out because of what's happened to me? You see, if I get tied up in what the right and wrong thing is to do, what we usually do is end up doing the wrong thing. And the reason this happens is because the idea of right and wrong have a lot to do with fear. You know, the fear of not doing the right thing or the fear of doing the wrong thing. And we can find lots of thought and, you know, which is egoic rationalizations why we should or should not do something. Again, part of judgment and part of the mind. The first thing we do always is accept where we are at right now. What is the reality, the objective reality of our existence, as objective as we can possibly be? And if the objective reality is I'm putting myself in harm's way, I'm risking another's health, then those things must be dealt with first. First and foremost. And we owe that which we have chosen to engage with in these situations, whether it be a guinea pig or a person, we owe them the responsibility of doing the best we can by them depending on the circumstances. So if it is a relationship with a person, it is not sufficient to send them a text message and say, well, I'm breaking up with you after a decade. It is sufficient, however, to sit down and look them in the eyes and explain, not explain, that's the wrong word. Let them know in the way that you feel best possible. In the case of those things far more innocent than we find ourselves to be many times in our lives, and again, that's a case of judgment, and I would ask you not to do that to yourself. When it comes to the innocence of children or animals, we owe our very best attempt in our state of responsibility to find them the right place to be. And in some cases, that means ending the life. Not of your child, of course, but, perhaps a pet. We would cling and hold on you know, to humanizations around everything, including animals, and we must never forget that whatever occurs is exactly what needs to occur. And in that, it is made perfect in all creation. There is never any judgment. There is nothing to beat yourself up about. There is nothing to hold on to about this. You know, as we age, you know, I saw this from a member, and I understand it completely. You know, we say, well, what if I'm in that situation one day? Do I want to be thrown away? And personally, my answer is yeah. I mean, really, if I became a burden on Kelly in such a way that I was impacting her life so severely that life was not fun anymore, that her existence became a drudgery of trying to care for me, I would really want her to put me in the car, drive down the highway, kick open the door, and shove me out onto the nearest ditch. I would. So don't allow yourself to judge or prejudge what hasn't happened yet and what isn't there. Allow yourself to sit in stillness. Look upon that which you need to deal with objective and honest eyes. Honesty first and foremost with yourself. And then act accordingly from that place of objectivity and honesty, with as much love and as much tenderness and as much compassion as you possibly can. That's it. That's all. Much love to you all today. Namaste from both Kelly and myself. If you didn't get to see the first few minutes, you got to rewind it. It's good for a good chuckle. It really is. We love you all sincerely, deeply, and honestly. Lean on us at any time. Get a hold of us whenever you need. Again, take care.